Join me as I turn this into this, my DIY studded love wall art.
Hello craft friends, I am Casey Lum, pregnant belly and all, and this is Social Crafts. Welcome. So we're getting super close to Valentine's Day and I have the perfect craft to bring some love into your home. It is my studded love wall art. So cute, yeah? This is just such an easy craft and really so cute, and this technique can be applied to really, if you didn't want to use the word love, it can be applied to any other letters. So say you wanted to do a monogram thing or some initials for your house, you are free to do that as well, but we are going to apply this technique to this Valentine's Day love craft. So if this is your first time here, I teach you everything you need to know to effortlessly host a craft party. From crafts to create, to party food ideas, and hosting tips and hacks. Of course, if you are not interested in hosting a craft party, not all of us are, you are more than welcome to do any of these crafts on your own. They're just great craft inspiration as well. I post a new video every Wednesday, so please consider subscribe below to my channel or visiting socialcrafts.com for more crafting and hosting inspiration. So without further ado, I think let's go over what you need for this craft. So everything I show you here will be listed in the description below and all the links for easy purchasing. So I like to make things as easy as possible. So I list all the supplies for you and give you the links of where you can purchase them. So that's in the description below. So first you will need a 12 by 12 corkboard. So this particular corkboard has an adhesive backing, so you actually don't need the twine right here if you want to use the adhesive backing. You can take it off and post it up on your wall if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to use the adhesive backing, you just leave the sticker on. You can create something like this with twine to just hang it from. So that is two options for this type of corkboard. So this is a 12 by 12 corkboard. Then you will need some craft paint. I used white and red. Of course, you can use whatever colors you want. And a plate for your paint. Some paintbrushes. You probably don't need 3. I used 3. I use these small ones to use smaller, thinner ones for the white detail, just because it's a little bit smaller area. And then I used the bigger toothbrush. The bigger paintbrush for the red paint because it covered more surface area and it was easy to paint larger areas. And then you'll need a jar for water. It could be a cup for water. I just have this jar laying around, so that's what I used. A pencil and some tacks. Silver or gold is fine. I used gold for mine. It's whatever you prefer or whatever your guests prefer as well. Some scissors, a ruler, and this love printout. So this love printout is a PDF that is listed below that you can download and print out yourself. So I've made this for you and you can print out, it's free to download. So you just go to the list below and find this printout, download it, and just print it out. The optional items that you might need are a cutting mat, this green cutting mat, and an X-Acto knife. And you'll need those two things if we're eventually going to cut out the letters here. And if you would like to use an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat to cut out the letters, totally feel free. Not necessary, because you can also just use scissors. They both work fine. So you can use scissors to cut these out as well. And then also twine. Like I said before, the twine is optional if you don't plan on using the back adhesive and you want something to hang it from, then you would want some twine or string or something like that, just so you have something to hang it from, hang your wall art onto the wall. So, remember that all of this stuff is listed in the description below for easy purchasing. And, I think that might be it. And I think I'm ready to show you this craft. So let's get started.
So eventually we are going to trace this love onto the corkboard, but before we do that, we are going to mark the 6-inch mark on each side of the corkboard. This is a 12 by 12 corkboard, and so on each side you are going to make a little mark at 6 inches. And once you do that on each of the edges, you are then going to make a line across the corkboard from one 6-inch mark to the other 6-inch mark, making a crisscross. Next, we're going to cut out the love, the gray part of this printout. And so you can do it in two ways. Right here we're showing you how to do it with an X-Acto knife and a ruler and a cutting mat. Make sure that cutting mat is under there so it doesn't cut up your table. And you can do it this way. You can also do it just with scissors. If you don't want to use an X-Acto knife or don't have one, scissors work perfectly fine. So just carefully use your scissors and cut out the gray portions of this printout. And you're going to do that with each of these letters. And just be careful, make the lines pretty straight. You don't need to have them too exact, but just make sure that you're keeping them pretty straight. And you're just going to cut out each one of these letters. Next, put the corkboard back in front of you and you're going to line up the crisscross on the printout to the lines that you made on your corkboard. And I forgot to tell you to make those lines on the corkboard a little bit on the lighter side so they don't show through on your paint. But you're going to line up the lines on the printout to those lines on the corkboard to make sure this love will be centered. Then you're going to go ahead and trace the letters with your pencil, holding down the paper to make sure it stays still and doesn't move as you do this. So just go ahead and lightly mark it. You don't need to make it too heavy. You just want to make sure you can see it. And you do that with each of the letters. Next, it's time to paint. So we're going to start with our lighter color, which is the white. And that's going to be the inside of the letters. So just go ahead and put some paint onto your paper plate. And I started with my thinnest brush, and I started doing that and just outlining the letters because that's the most precise part that you have to worry about. So I went and outlined them with the thinner brush and then used the medium brush to fill in the rest of the letters. What you don't need to do is you don't need to be super precise because remember the gold studs are going to cover where the white meets the red. So if you make a little bit of a mess up, don't even worry about it. And you'll notice the O, I filled in the lines that was on the stencil. You have to keep those lines there so the O stays intact for the stencil, but I just go ahead and filled out that whole O so it's complete. And you just keep doing this until it's complete. And then I went over with another coat on any areas that looked a little bit light. And there you go, let it dry. Next, after it's dry, go ahead and touch it. Make sure the paint is all dry. Doesn't take too long. You can even use a hair dryer to speed up the drying process if you don't want to wait. But then you go ahead and apply the red paint. And that is going to go on all the other part of the corkboard that the white is not. So I use the thicker brush here and just fully covered the corkboard. Again, remember that where the red meets the white, if it, try to be careful, but if it gets a little bit messy, don't worry about it because the gold tacks are going to cover where those two colors meet and it'll make it look clean again. So just go ahead and do that. I did 2 coats of this red, and then you're going to want to let it dry. Once it's dry, we're going to apply the studs or the tacks. So what I do is I start with a tack at each of the corners or the points of the letters. So you can see here I'm using the studs first at each of the points of each letter. So I have the top 2, the top 4, now the middle point of the V, and I'm gonna do the bottom 2 points as well. Then from there, I start with one edge and I go from each point to the center. Excuse me. So you can see I go from one side, then I go put another tack on the other side, and then my last one is in the center. And then even on the long sides I do that. I go one tack on one side from the edge, one tack from the other side, and then I meet in the middle. So you see here on the long sides, I'm going side to side, each side, and then eventually meet in the middle. You're going to do this for all letters, and for the O, I just start at one place of the O and go completely around the O. And you'll notice here that I didn't mention before is that I like to personally overlap the tacks just a little bit to make it super clean. So I'm overlapping the tacks just a little bit of each other. And there you go, you got yourself your finished craft.
Thank you so much for joining. I hope that your craft turned out beautiful, and please remember to always tag us. We love to see your crafts. You can tag us with the hashtag #socialcrafts or hashtag #yayforcrafts. If you have any questions at all, you can email me at hello@socialcrafts.com. That's hello@socialcrafts.com. And also, if you want to see more and follow us in other places, you can follow us on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. That's always at Social Crafts. You can type in Social Crafts. You can find us pretty easily on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. And then, of course, we would appreciate it if you would thumbs up this video and subscribe. So you can subscribe here, tell all your friends about it, and thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, we will see you then.